Make sure you have the following in the vicinity: earplugs, a pencil, a sheet of paper, and a standard Christian Bible, open to Psalms 91:10. If something unusual begins speaking in tongues tangible to the naked ears, insert your earplugs and turn to your pencil and paper. Write the following on the page: I can see this paper.
I can't see this paper.
I can see my hand.
I have no hand.
I can't hear the screaming of thousands.
I can hear the laughter of thousands.
I can't hear the feast.
I can hear the feast.
I am a moving, breathing human being on planet Earth.
I cannot move, nor do I want to.
After these words are written, recite Psalms 91:10 aloud. If memories and imagery of something unholy persist in your mind, pray. It's all you can do. In the event you are required to carry out these procedures, contact the authorities afterwards. You will be administered amnestics. Many appear to lead a normal life afterwards. The Boiled One Phenomena. August 13th, 2003. Tree of Heaven. In the late 1990s, a now classified documentary-based television program would debut from a local station in Pennsylvania. The program revolved around woodland plants and animals, and was primarily directed towards children. The star of the show and narrator would talk about the wonders of nature, the dangers to it, how to appreciate it, and most importantly, how to protect yourself from it. Unfortunately, in early 2001, the program would be taken off the air due to the host passing away. Then, something odd happened. On August 13th, 2003, the 13th episode of the series began a rerun, seemingly out of nowhere. The following audio recording depicts the beginning segments of the video.
Good morning, bushwhackers. Today we're venturing into the heart of the forest to find a plant that's as beautiful as it is deceptive. Poison oak. We all know about it, and here in Pennsylvania it's not as common, but still something to look out for. And here on we aim to uncover all the wonderful secrets that nature has to offer, no matter how minuscule or gigantic. So let's get going, shall we? Found primarily in deep North American woodlands, poison oak has many different names and places of origin, also referred to as the Tree of Heaven. Imagine that? In China and Taiwan, one of these invasive species made its way to America in the 1700s and took its ground here boldly. As many of us know, it's infamous.
During one of the interlude segments, an anomalous broadcast would hijack the program. The broadcasts depicted videos of a red, melted face that spoke to the viewer in a warm, yet deeply disconcerting voice. The face and its properties will hereby be referred to as Fen-228. As Fen-228 spoke, clips of footage and even live camera feed monitoring hospitals and bedrooms would be occasionally overlaid on the screen, obscuring Fen-228's face. Though most remembered Fen-228 speaking English, multiple non-English speaking viewers remembered understanding every word that was spoken. The following clip is a restored recording of the anomalous broadcast. The duration of the clip has been shortened, and the audio has been muffled, reversed, and dampened. These altercations are absolutely necessary to suppress its hazardous attributes as effectively as possible. For maximum safety, watch with blue light glasses and insert your earplugs. This broadcast will be hereby referred to as Broadcast 813. Broadcast 813 was viewed by roughly 530 residents throughout the southern Pennsylvania area, and upon viewing, left many severely distraught. Aside from the discomfort and paranoia Fen-228's television presence had brought to the viewers, there were other side effects that these viewers experienced that were highly unnatural. Many viewers reported not being able to keep the image of Fen-228's face out of their minds. Some even continued to hear its voice days after viewing. A victim who requested to remain anonymous claimed that the face was living in his brain and feeding on his spine. Another described trumpets playing in their ears before they fell asleep. None of these people knew that this was only the beginning of a whole new species of suffering that would never fully be understood. August 14th, 2003. The Great Northeast Blackout of 2003. After the anomalous frequency was detected by television station troubleshooters, the NERC was ordered by the Ephrata branch to have all power grids to the local state of Pennsylvania disabled by 4 p.m. to prevent further escalation of the anomaly and the public knowledge of Broadcast 813. The outage ultimately spread to various parts of New York, New Jersey, Ohio, and even Canada as well, creating the famous Northeast Blackout of 2003. During the confusion caused by the outage, all traces of Broadcast 813 were collected by the Ephrata branch and seemingly wiped from existence, including news articles in the works from the morning after the broadcast, internet posts, recordings, and more. The cause of the blackout was promptly covered up and claimed to have been from a combination of human error and the result of a tree falling onto the sagging power lines somewhere in Cleveland, Ohio. But the damage had already been done. Aftermath. 12 days after Broadcast 813 was blocked from the air, a historically massive influx of pseudocoma occurred through the state of Pennsylvania, leaving 509 people affected and many families in shock. Pseudocoma is an extremely rare condition in which a patient experiences cerebromedulospinal disconnection, leaving them conscious, but unable to move or communicate verbally due to complete paralysis of all voluntary muscles in the body, except for vertical eye movements. This anomalous outbreak of such a rare condition was regarded as a spectacle by the U.S. Department of Health and was put under investigation immediately. One thing in common with all these cases is that the patients had been at home watching TV the night the Broadcast 813 was aired. Though victims of this outbreak were unable to speak, they were able to communicate through Morse code by blinking. More than 60 victims were interviewed. Many of these interviews held unavailing results that often led to more questions, and many others held results that required archival termination. However, fairly late into the investigation, the Ephrata branch was notified of a particularly odd case revolving around one Job Zamperini, an elderly victim of the anomalous pseudocoma outbreak. Job Zamperini specifically requested his alias to be used in future records rather than his real name, which will remain classified. Zamperini was a war vet and fluent in Morse code, putting him on the mark as a potential interviewee as soon as the outbreak was put under investigation. After a very odd photo was taken in his backyard by his visiting grandson, his family became deeply troubled and convinced his house was haunted. This led them to contact a local priest in hopes his house would be blessed. The following photo depicts Fen 228 standing next to a small playhouse in Zamperini's backyard. The photo itself proved to be non-hazardous and safe to view, though still anomalous in nature. For most comfortable viewing experience, wear blue light glasses or view from a distance of 3 feet away or more. Zamperini claimed something horrible and unholy was with him, and would hurt him and possibly others if he described it and what it was telling him. The following is a recovered, previously archived recording in which Officer T. Gomez of the Ephrata branch interviews Job Zamperini.
Hello, Mr. I'm Officer Gomez. Hope you're doing well today. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions regarding your condition and possibly unholiness within your home that your family had mentioned?
Ask.
Okay, first and foremost, did you notice any onset symptoms before you lost complete mobility of your body?
There was a face.
Face, huh? When did you begin seeing this face?
After I saw it on TV, it never left me.
Interesting. Many of the people who have seen the broadcast that you saw on August the 13th described having vivid and upsetting hallucinations. Do you think this is something your brain has created?
No, it is in the window.
Can you please describe this face to me?
Horribly burnt. Not of Lord Christ.
I still don't see it. Have you been having any hallucinations aside from the face?
I hear screaming of many voices.
I'm sorry to hear that. Are these screams constant?
At night, before I sleep, I hear trumpets too, but Lord Christ is with
Thank
me.
you. You shedding light on this is helping more than you know.
Listen closely. Do you hear it? You will hear the laughter of thousands as the sky opens up. You will hear the trumpets play their happy sounds. The scalding blood of life will pour down onto us all. Together, we will be still. Together, a feast fit for a king. Together, melded by love and purest connection. Be still.
Warning. If you see this screen, it means it is not safe to continue viewing. The program will end shortly. Protocol Brevita 228 has been initiated.
You think the boiled one is bad. Wait till you meet the fried one. There's also the grilled one, the microwave one, the roasted one. You know, I'm usually called the baked one. It appears that some sort of anomalous entity has hijacked the airways with an unexplainable and dangerous signal for heretofore unknown various, nefarious, and likely hilarious purposes. While there isn't a direct statement about what this entity is, what it's doing, or what it wants, there's a plethora of information to help us piece that together ourselves. First of all, we should take a look at the heavy Christian influence that this analog horror has. Let's go down the list. The primary defense recommended against this entity is to pray and read from the Bible. I could see two reasons for this. Either people saw something supernatural, and Bible thumpers claimed it's demons because he's scary, and the only other scary thing religious people know about other than demons is bears. Or it actually is a demon. I doubt that it's a traditional demon because the Bible defense mechanism didn't scare him off. In the human's defense, if someone started reading the Bible to me, I would probably leave. So it's not a terrible strategy. This creature also chose to hijack the 13th episode of the show called Tree of Heaven. The Tree of Heaven is pretty on the nose, and 13 is often considered to be the devil's number, or an unlucky number in many circles. The trumpets before sleeping is also a Christian thing, as trumpets are said to play on one's judgment day as they stand trial to see if they're fit to enter heaven. Okay, Pastor Kid Touchy McGee, we get it. Whatever the hell this thing is, it's definitely in some way biblical, which may explain some of its anomalous power. Speaking of anomalous power, since it was speaking English, but everyone could understand it even if they didn't speak English, this creature is obviously communicating via other means. The signal in speech probably allows it to hop into people's heads. Weren't they nice to reverse what Fen228 was saying so that we wouldn't get all paralyzed? Kinda sucks that we don't get to hear it though. Well, don't you worry, friend. Your good buddy Az has just what you need, and he doesn't give a shit about safety standards.
Cause a manifestation of my being in the future. You will be asleep in bed. I will be there and watch over you. When you wake, you will not be able to move any part of you. When the doctors eventually find you, they will not see me, but you will, and I'll see you too. Forever, I'll see you.
Even in reverse, this dingus with a sweet potato filled with needles for a head still talks like his mouth is full of oobleck. I speak mouthful of goo for reasons that I won't admit, so I'll translate. From the manifestation of my being, you will be asleep in bed. I will be there and watch over you. When you wake, you will not be able to move any part of you. When the doctors eventually find you, they will not see me, but you will. And I'll see you too. Forever. I'll see you. Apparently, after everyone heard this, it eated all of their spines, which is pretty fucking rad. And then it left them as less smart than Stephen Hawking's. The hospital beds in the hijacked broadcast could have been referring to the beds that the victims found themselves in. And in that case, Fen228 clearly has an understanding of foreshadowing and is a very good writer. One thing that particularly drew my eye was the wording, species of suffering, used in the video. The word species makes one imagine a living creature rather than a classification of a mental state. That may mean that this is a new creature that can jump from body to body, living in people's minds as a quote-unquote species of suffering, or something goofy like that. Fun fact, the Northeast blackout of 2003 is a real event, which was actually attributed to the same cause as the cover-up in the video. Weird how that turns out. I don't know what Protocol Bravita 228 is, but it's likely shutting down the power grid like they did to stop the spread of the weird lumpy-faced guy. Well, let's hope we never need to do that again. Side note, I like how Zamperini was like, "I hear screaming of many voices," and the cop was just like, "No, I'm sorry to hear that." Fen 228 is the name, paralyzing people whilst they sleep and giving them horrific nightmares to take away the one sanctity that would be their brain is my game. So can I get your digits, shorty? I want to touch that yacht. Oh, by the way, that cognito hazard that I just exposed you to, members of my cult already under my cognito hazardous influence, yeah, that blocks all other cognito hazards. So if you don't want to wake up paralyzed, I suggest you like, comment, and subscribe with all notifications enabled there, bucko. Also, join my cult. It's in the description. You just sign up, pay me money.
Shout out the inner circle. Love y'all.